So I tried to do this as a live stream, but it would not live stream. I don't know what the fuck is wrong, but I swear it's my phone. I don't drop my phone. I'm really super gentle with my phone, but for some reason the internet went out on my phone, could not reconnect. And this is like the third live stream that has been interrupted because of some service issue with this fucking phone. So number one, I will be looking at getting another phone this summer. But number two, you're getting this pre-recording. So I hope you enjoy. Sorry that we can't live comment with each other. It's just the way that my phone is working right now. So I'm going to recap a lot of the stuff I said in the live that I was doing before the stream cut out. And then hopefully for those of you who haven't seen it yet, it'll be something new for you. And for those who wanted to hear what else I had to say, you'll get the rest of the story. So let's start with Min Hee-jin. So Min Hee-jin was a creative director at SM, responsible for a lot of the girl group concepts at SM, at least in later second generation, early third generation. So we're talking FX, we're talking Red Velvet, that genre of SM. And she left SM in order to be a part of a new subsidiary label of Hybe called Adore. And she left, taking with her a lot of key people from SM to start Adore. The Adore boardroom is full of board directors that were people who are close personal friends of hers, or people who she has close working relationships with. And because of the success she had with FX and especially with Red Velvet, she was looked at as a key get for Hybe in terms of the label getting intellectual property, key creatives. She was looked at as a huge acquisition, especially because a lot of us who are Red Velvet fans, will be honest with you, the era of Red Velvet that we feel most closely aligned with for most of us is the era of Red Velvet that is Peekaboo, Bad Boy, Ice Cream Cake, Dum Dum, Automatic, One of These Nights, like that era of Red Velvet. And so, yeah, this was a huge get. So Min Hee-jin starts Adore, and we start to get the first little inklings of what the concept would be for NewJeans, because I think Min Hee-jin did an interview talking about like her sources of inspiration, concept, stuff like that. And there's all of this Lolita and kind of like younger, precocious, sexually aware young women dealing with older men type of influence. And people are rightfully calling her out on this. They're like, bro, this is super duper weird that you have this kind of, you know, younger lady, older woman type of aesthetic, a lot of like early Calvin Klein, like Kate Moss style aesthetic, just a lot of like innocent young girl, sexually precocious. That's really where things were going with it. They called her out on it, and of course her statement is, it's not what you think, and you know, I'm going for the more artistic version of this, and I'm more for the aesthetics rather than the actual belief systems and stuff like that. Spoken like a true creep. So anyway, people let her get away with this because when NewJeans debuts, they immediately are popular. And they're not just popular for being affiliated with Hybe, but like they're popular because the shit is contagious. Like the songs are written so well, the hooks are so catchy, the aesthetic is exactly what's on trend right now. Like it's Y2K, but it's like that Y2K that a lot of people don't necessarily align with Britney Spears, but like Y2K for like a street skater type aesthetic, or Y2K in Japan, if you will. So people are really digging it. And then the style of the music, it's very much kind of like Florida bassline music. It's also UK garage music. It's very much Pink Pantherist. So, you know, it really is hitting on all cylinders, every part of the trend cycle. Match that with like being on TikTok and the dances going viral, the songs going viral, even the fucking filters going viral. This group had everything going on for it. And everyone chalks it up to the fact that Min Hee-jin is a genius. That's basically how it goes. But it goes that way because when it comes to giving agency to young girls, we don't do that. Like literally, the girls of NewJeans could be interchangeable at this point. People don't talk about their personalities as artists. People don't talk about their backgrounds in terms of what they did before they became trainees. People really only talk about how cute they are, how young they are, how creepy their fans are at fan meetings, and then just, you know, their potential to be huge and what's going to happen when they finally become of age, which says a lot about our society, right? So anyway, NewJeans, probably the biggest girl group to come out of, I guess we would say 5th generation K-pop at this point. Probably the biggest girl group to come out of 5th generation K-pop. There's really no other girl group that's doing it like them. And I don't say that because I'm dick riding so hard. It sounds like I am, but I really am not. Like, Blackpink was doing really, really well in the US, but then YG, being as bad at managing girl groups as they are, fucked that shit up. Twice, they did okay in the US, but you know, they're getting to where they're kind of an older legacy group and things taper off towards the end. G-Idol, they were sold in Target, but you really didn't hear a lot of international fans talking about them in the same way that you heard Blackpink and Twice being talked about. And of course, SM, they tried with aespa. They did not try at all with Red Velvet. So there really hasn't been a girl group that had as big of a look in international waters, especially when you consider the fact that NewJeans, because of their concept, because of their sound, you had a lot of like the traditional music press, music critics, music podcasts. They're all like, we actually really dig this music. Like, not just oh, this is cool for K-pop, but no, this is cool for music. This is some shit I would listen to whether it was in Korean or not. This is a group that I would pay attention to. People were basically linking the NewJeans sound and image with like the Charlie XCSs of the world. They considered it like cool dance music for younger people. So with all that being said, HYBE really had a winner when it came to NewJeans. And so people were wanting to know, well, who's next? Then it was announced that there was going to be another girl group coming out of HYBE. But it wasn't coming from HYBE, the master company. It was coming from another subsidiary, Belief. And it turns out to be ILLIT. And of course, there are a lot of people like, well, ILLIT's only popular because they're under HYBE, and because they're under HYBE, that's the reason why they're getting brand deals and endorsements and fashion show invites, even though they haven't released a stitch of music. That was valid criticism. But, you know, considering that TXT and Hyphen, NewJeans, 17, BTS are all under the HYBE family of entertainers, people had a right to believe that these were going to be people that were going to be profitable in the entertainment space moving forward. Well, ILLIT comes out with Magnetic, and Magnetic is instantly a blockbuster. Like, it is, the magnetic dance is so popular on TikTok. The sound is so popular that this time I want you. Instantly popular. And I said in a live not that long ago, like maybe a week ago, I'm like, you know, ILLIT sounds very much like a NewJeans song, which sounds like Pink Pantheress. It's very much in the same wheelhouse. It sounds like the same people were working on both. Except the same people were not working on both. Belief Labs is the subsidiary that ILLIT is under. NewJeans is under Adore, which is Min Hee-jin's kind of boutique label that she's the creative director over. And Min Hee-jin felt a way about it. She really felt a way about the fact that now here comes this other girl group who in the press are being called the Dongsangs of NewJeans. Younger girls, newer girls, similar sound, even similar video look. So she puts out a press statement basically saying, Adore is disappointed that HYBE has copied the intellectual property, the vibe, genre, sound of NewJeans for their new girl group, that was not anything that was ever previously discussed. It was not anything that was ever endorsed by Adore or NewJeans, and that they are seeking some type of resolution for this whole situation. Now, on the surface, if you didn't know anything kind of behind the scenes of any of these entities, if all you ever heard from Min Hee-jin was this statement, you'd be like, you know what? The similarities really are too similar. It's too similar. I think that there is something nefarious going on here. I think this is probably wrong, right? Well, what people don't seem to understand is that greasy people are always going to be greasy. It's really hard to get the oil slick off your hands and elbows. Like, once you get greasy, it takes a lot to wash you clean. And Hee-jin is a greasy fucking person. She's a greasy fucking person. That whole Lolita arc, that wasn't accidental. The whole wanting to invoke a precocious sexual maturity, that wasn't an accident. That was totally on purpose, because one thing that she understood from the business that a lot of us who have been watching K-pop for a long time understand about the business is that the uncle fans are where the money is at. Girl groups sell, because the only two buyer groups that are willing to really cash out when it comes to their faves, uncle fans are willing to spend their whole paycheck on a girl group if they really love them, and female fans are willing to collect beyond what's reasonable if they really love a boy band. And so those are the two fixations of this current crop of K-pop consumers. And because of that, Hee-jin's like, for a girl group, I could get the girls to want to support NewJeans, but if I really want to make some money, I'm going to throw a bunch of underage children in front of these guys, get them thirsty, and then take their money. That's why you have songs like Cookie in the discography of the NewJeans, which I remember at the time saying how Cookie sounded super duper sexual, way more sexual than minor girls should be singing. And the response from Hee-jin and their camp was, no, it's literally a song about making cookies. Ma'am, I was born at night, but not last night. There's no fucking way. There's no fucking way. So say all that to say that Hee-jin putting out this statement about how ILLIT is copying the intellectual property of NewJeans, that wasn't something that was said because this last week or so of Magnetic has just been so viral. This was something that was said as a part of what now seems to be, allegedly, a complete and utter just fuck up in strategy by Hee-jin to try to capture Adore out from under Hybe. So when Hee-jin left SM and started talking to Hybe about doing Adore, it was with the understanding she would get 20% of the shares, and she could use her 20% to install a board of directors that was full of her close friends, associates, colleagues, and that Hybe would have 80% share. Now, with Hee-jin basically running Adore, being the creative director, picking the trainees, picking all the concepts, what songs get used, all of that stuff, one might be asking, why would Hee-jin need to even have Hybe involved when it sounds like she runs the show here? The reason she needed Hybe involved is because, unfortunately, for better or for worse, just as much as Hee-jin is using misogyny and the patriarchy in order to tap down any of the grossness involved with putting Lolita as a part of your marketing strategy, misogyny and patriarchy are the reason why nobody was willing to angel invest or to back up a company led by her with her having majority shares. SM obviously wasn't paying her the money for her to get out there and start her own label, but for the people who have left SM that are executives, they usually get some type of investor backing. There weren't a lot of men in Korea who are investors who wanted to put their money behind Hee-jin, but Hybe said, we'll absolutely put our money behind you as long as we're majority shareholders, as long as you're making money for us. And I think Hee-jin decided, I will go ahead and play ball for now, but what I'd like to do is eventually steal Adore out from under Hybe if I can. And the way I will do it is that I will somehow or another manipulate the situation to seem like Hybe is stealing the intellectual property, stealing the trade secrets of Adore, using it for their other companies that they own, and in essence are hollowing out the value of Adore. And by doing that, we might have a case for forcing them to sell their shares on the open market because they're basically undermining the value of Adore by doing these illicit trade practices. But here's where it gets interesting. Apparently, Hybe was in the process of requesting an audit of Adore because a Hybe executive, a CFO type of figure, somebody in the financial spaces for Hybe, is apparently a close friend of Hee-jin and has been feeding her trade secrets about Hybe. Now, it could be that the trade secrets that are being accused of being released are trade secrets having to do with Hybe using Adore's model to help their other subsidiaries. That could have been what they were funneling to her. It could have been them funneling other information in terms of like maybe the shares aren't split the way that she was promised they would be. Who's to know? I haven't seen the documents. Everything is alleged at this point. But if part one of her plan is to make it seem like Hybe is basically breaking apart Adore and Adore's strategies to use for their other subsidiaries, and that's the reason why they should be allowed legally to force Hybe to sell their shares in order to keep the value of Adore, that's not a bad move. That's not a terrible move. But then to have the CEO or CFO give you information about Hybe that's easily traced to them having access to that information and them giving you that information, and possibly even someone from your camp telling them we will be using this information against you in court, that was stupid. That was really, really stupid. And it was really stupid because everything having to do with making money is always going to be heavily traced. There's not a single penny that Hybe is making on any of their groups that they're not going to want to have a thorough accounting of, because they want to make sure they're getting all the money they're entitled to. And so the fact that NewJeans became kind of the flagship girl group that Hybe has had, because if you look at the history of Hybe back when it was big hit, girl groups have not been a strength for this label. But the fact that NewJeans had been so successful and were such a flagship in terms of the direction of girl groups for the label, even though E Seraphim still super popular, let's not ignore them or not give them their roses. Saying all of that, of course they were paying really close attention, and I'm sure Hybe had installed their own kind of spies in Adore just to make sure that their assets were being protected. And from what's being released or what's being alleged is that Hee-jin is basically trying to pull a 50-50 on Hybe / Adore. Apparently Hee-jin has been allegedly going to the parents of the girls from NewJeans and saying, oh, well, look at how dirty Hybe is doing, and look at this, and look at that, and look at this, and look at that. And, you know, if you're on our side, we're going to try to make sure that we get this label out from under Hybe, and we take care of your girls, and we can offer them shares and A, B, C, and D. And really playing not only to the greed of most people who maybe weren't super wealthy to begin with, or people who want to have more wealth, but also into insecurities about what the K-pop corporate space is at this time and place. Because honestly, being a K-pop fan and seeing the moves that have been made regarding companies being bought, sold, acquired, fraud, and other illicit activities in the acquisition of these companies, it's easy to believe, if you're a parent of an artist, that something nefarious is going on. It's a tale as old as time. Artists being taken advantage of, having contracts that are unfair, having money that should be entitled to them that they're not seeing. And when somebody that's that high up, who is basically responsible for the success of your child, says, I want to look out for your child's best interest, and I think that this company is not looking out for them, and I have information that speaks to that, and I want all of us to get paid. That's very enticing. That's super enticing. It's super easy to believe. It's super easy to fall for. So of course the parents are probably thinking, okay, well, what really goes on? But there's very few parents in modern K-pop who aren't well off. I don't know why that is, but you know, the days of people like Guhara who come from no money and somehow make it into like super idol status, those times are long gone. Most of the kids who make it to superstar status in K-pop nowadays come from wealthy backgrounds, whether it's parents who are professors, parents who are in international business, all the like. You're not dealing with the podunks like you used to. You're dealing with people who come from some type of a wealthy background or some type of an international background. So I wouldn't be surprised if some of the parents from NewJeans went to some of their friends, acquaintances in corporate business, asked a few questions, and the word got back around to Hybe that these discussions were going on, especially because this is huge news if a group like NewJeans decides to leave. So I say all that to say, I feel like perhaps the word was given that NewJeans was looking into whether or not their contract was fair. Hype found out where a lot of information was being leaked. And then they took that to Adore and said, we would like an audit. Now, this is where it gets even more interesting. Hype's asking for an audit, which they're allowed to do because they're a majority shareholder. The board at Adore is made up, again, like I told you earlier, of Min Hee-jin's close friends, close colleagues, people who are close to her. They're basically not wanting to give in to what Hype is asking, because I'm certain that Min Hee-jin told them, I will take care of you if you take care of me. Hype is wanting Min Hee-jin the fuck out of Adore. She's got 20%. I think they're going to force a buyout. They want to force her out. The board, again, being familiars of Min Hee-jin, don't want to betray their friend, the person who got them their shares, the person who put them in as board of directors. They're kind of not wanting to acquiesce to that either. And so we're getting ready to see a huge lawsuit when it comes to Adore, Hybe, everything else. At least that's where it looks like it's headed at this point, based on the information that's out there in the streets. But let's get down to what's really important here. One of the members of NewJeans just turned 16 a couple days ago. These girls are mad young. These girls are mad young. And they are now going to see their careers changed in such a substantial way. And the hope is that it's something they can recover from. The hope is it's something that they can get over. The hope is they can maintain their popularity like they always have. But remember how I was saying earlier that ILLIT sounds a lot like NewJeans. They're practically interchangeable. We don't really have a lot of connection with the younger girls from NewJeans because they are younger and their personalities are still developing, and they've been really image controlled by Min Hee-jin. If all of this between Adore and Hybe means that NewJeans won't be able to do any comebacks or do any promotions or do any activities until this war between Adore and Hybe is settled, and we don't know how long that's going to take, how long do you think it's going to take for ILLIT to take their spot? How much of recovery can NewJeans actually make if this battle between this greasy ass lady and this huge conglomerate lingers? We saw what happened to 50/50. Only one member of 50/50 is still with the group. They are currently doing a reality show to cast the other members of the new 50/50. It's all terrible. So with that being said, I wish the best for NewJeans. I hope things work out for them, but this could very well be a career-ending situation for them, and it sucks because they're so young and they just got started and they're so talented. But anyway, I gotta go. Talk to you later. Bye.